Tom, we certainly, Tom, expected something might happen, but yet when it happened today, a lot of people didn't quite know what to think. It hit them in the stomach. There was that kind of reaction that comes when great or terrible events occur. We sat very quietly and looked at television screens. I didn't quite know what to say at the beginning. Here's what we found. Everywhere, though they knew it was coming, was a kind of shock.
Well, actually, I heard it on my car radio. I came out in here and just watched it on the news.
People gathered around places where information could be had, any place, trying to comprehend what was happening. First reactions?
It's a tragedy. It's a bad thing that has happened. It's a bad thing, actually. And I feel sad for the whole thing.
Well, there's nothing really we can do right now. Just hope that there aren't any casualties on our side. And all we can do is just watch the news right now. Just pray.
At a military base east of Los Angeles, troops preparing for service in the Gulf heard the radio. Listened, silent.
Action around Baghdad. Apparently there's anti-aircraft fire going on.
And then this from an officer.
I'm sorry it happened, because there's going to be a lot of innocent people die because of one man.
From an enlisted man.
Well, it was one of my worst fears, but it's come true, and now we have to face it.
In San Francisco, opponents of the war heard the news and were furious. And even as they began to march, a screaming headline hit the streets. And by nightfall, downtown San Francisco rang with the shouts of demonstrators saying, "This is wrong."
I wish to pull the troops out now. I think this is the biggest mistake Bush has made.
In Albuquerque, Rosemary Brackett, with a son in the Gulf, spoke from the other side of a wide spectrum.
Oh, I think they should be supported 1,000,000,000%. And those protesters just drove me. I was so angry with those protesters.
In Los Angeles, Al and Norma Jacobs, whose son is now at war, spoke sadly about a conflict they publicly opposed and now hope will end quickly.
I don't really think peace demonstrations hurt him. I was for a peaceful solution to the war. But since the war started, there's nothing I can do but support the effort right now.
This day has been hardest, of course, for the families, for mothers whose very human feelings are now in such a crisis.
Moms are here to try to help and make things better. If Mom can't make this any better, that's the hardest thing. I feel bad that I can't help you.
And this was the first day, first hours, during which nerves and stomachs were rolling for many. They took what comfort they could. That last was a picture from an all-night prayer vigil which is being held in Pasadena. We sent our cameras out throughout the western United States, but there was reaction obviously all across the country. We have all been riveted by what is going on. And we have still disagreed, even after the decision by President Bush, after the announcement that war had begun. There was a clash between anti-war and pro-administration demonstrators in Washington. There were demonstrations in Los Angeles, demonstrations around the campus of UCLA, and reports that tomorrow UCLA students will go on strike. So the anti-war feeling has not disappeared, and yet as the day progressed, Tom, you could see that public opinion about what had happened was changing rapidly. Continues to change rapidly, one gets the impression, again, as we get reports back from our crews. But where it's going to go tomorrow, I guess heaven only knows. We'll just have to watch.
Keith Morrison, thank you very much. That is reflective, I'm sure, of the feelings in the country. A wide range of emotions. Everything from people saying this is something that we must do, people reacting with shock and horror. But now the operation does continue. Before too long, we should be getting some intelligence assessments, I would think. They'll be able to get some satellite photographs out from there. They'll be able to make some visual, I would think, inspections as well of what is going on in those areas where there were some crucial military sites that were attacked. Command and Control Center, C&C, we've been using that phrase again and again. That's generally a bunker. It's generally where the people who run the Iraqi military operations would be located with all their electronic gear.